the John Fredericks Radio Network, the John Fredericks Radio app, and I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America. We're live here in Richmond, Virginia, gang. We got Joe Morrissey. We got Chap Peterson. Do we have Saxman on? We got Saxman back from Alaska. Saxman and I going on a bus tour in Iowa. Can't wait for that. That's in a couple of weeks. Why are we going there? Let's be very clear. I love my city of Washington, D.C. I love living there. I love being in D.C. I love being a White House correspondent. I love going to the briefings. I don't like standing up. Hope I get a seat. Love going to the Oval Office. Love living in D.C. But the problem is, here's the downside, Joe. If you become isolated there and you don't talk to people, you start to get a different view. And so as much as I love my city and I love being in D.C., and Ann and I are going to be there a long time, as we love it there, you got to get out and you got to talk to people. And when in doubt, go to the heartland. Talk to people. That's why I'm going on my bus tour in Iowa. I'm going to start in Des Moines. We'll hit a bunch of different counties all week.
When is it?
Dragging Saxman out there with me. Thanks, Chris, for coming to help me out there. I'm getting a bit older now. I really can't do what I did.
Jesus, he's a saint.
We got Saxman's coming out with
When
me,
are you going?
So thank you, Chris, for doing that because we'll do some special shows in the afternoon. But you got to get out and talk to people. And I picked Iowa because I'm like, look, that's the straw poll. Plus, there's governor's race, there's congressional races, there's all kinds of races going on. And you're going to get out and talk to the people, and they're going to tell you what's going on. Because that's one of the downsides, Joe, as much as I love being in D.C. And here's where it hit me. Here's where it hit me. Neil McCabe, who was a friend of mine, now is at RAV, and he said, I was here 10 years ago, and 10 years later, I'm now covering the White House for Real America's Voice, and I see the same people doing the same things for 10 years later, and they don't get out. And so, and if they do get out, it's very controlled. We get out, we do these bus tours, you talk to average people, keeps you grounded, Joe.
You keep, if you're isolated.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. If you're isolated.
In a bubble.
You can't feel the pulse of the people. But my question to you is, you're going out to Iowa. Are you running for president or are you running for mayor of Washington, D.C.?
Neither
one.
What
office are you running for?
No, I'm not running. I'm not candidate for office. Well, actually, I'm a candidate. I'm the Ward 2 chairman of the Republican Party of Washington, D.C. I am on the ballot in June. I'll win that in a landslide because I have no opposition. So I'm running for that.
All
but Joe,
30 votes.
I went to CVS yesterday, and because I forgot my razor. And I bought, I can't do those cheap Bic razors. I have a very heavy beard, so I got to buy the new Fusion, so I had to buy a razor. And I thought about buying two of them because I'm like, Joe must be on hard times because he doesn't have a razor, he's not shaving, and it makes him look like, 15 years older, so I don't quite get the beard thing.
It's real simple. Bella was rubbing my cheek the other day when I had just a little, and she said, I like that. I like the way it feels, so I let it grow a little bit more. And I'm taking, opinions as to what other folks say. You don't like it.
No, it looks like crap.
You're just jealous. But
I can grow a beard in one day. I'm not jealous. I'm telling you, you look 15 years older. Now, Reed's beard, he carries it.
Oh,
Reed's
here we
beard
go.
Carries it.
Here we go.
I like Reed's
I'm the
beard.
redheaded stepchild. I have a beard that looks like, like a goat. Reed has a beard and he looks like handsome and debonair.
Yes,
not
he
fair.
does because it matches his hair. Now, Chap Peterson had a beard and I hated that as well. I hated it.
Oh, my wife
that made him
it.
look older, and it made him look like a curmudgeon. So I didn't like that. And Saxman and I, we believe in shaving. I grew a beard one time. And it wasn't even during COVID. And Ann comes up to me and she said, okay, well, as long as you have that beard, I'm not kissing you. So that was the end of that.
All right.
All good. Anyway, guys, a lot to
Good.
talk about
So you
today.
won't kiss me. Great. Let's move on.
We got Joe Morrissey, Chap Peterson, John Reed, and Chris Saxman. John, let me just start with you. We had the big debate yesterday. We just put a poll up, getting a lot of good feedback from that. The debate for the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia. John Reed, your thoughts. And after the debate, if you were on the State Central Committee, who would you vote for?
Oh, well, I
John
should probably
Reed, no
avoid.
audio.
You don't hear me? You don't hear me?
I hear you.
You hear me.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, yeah. I don't know that I'm going to say who I would vote for. I will say that I think there were a couple of people who stood out. And my main concern as a candidate who just got crushed with no money is money. Who can walk into a big donor's office or a business person's office and convince them that the Republican Party of Virginia is not dead, is not asleep at the wheel, is not radical, that we're the responsible people, and convince those people to give a check and that there's strong leadership. And I think there were a couple of people who stood out with that I think would probably be well received, would get the meeting, first of all, because I think a lot of business people have been told, I have heard, that Don Scott, the former drug dealer who's now the Speaker of the House, who spent 8 years in federal prison, he is continuing with that mindset. He's told business people, I am told, if I see that you have given money to Republicans, you're going to have a problem at the Capitol. Now, I don't know that he's going to verify that, but he's playing hardball.
He does it. He's doing the same thing. That's what the Democrats do. They strong arm. We don't have the balls to do that. That's why we never do it. Jose,
so you're going to need somebody tough to go in and counter that.
Who would you vote for?
I'm not going to say who I'd vote for because then I'm going to piss everybody off.
After the debate, I had no dog in the hunt. After the debate, I'd vote for Mike Clancy, hands down. I think he's run a campaign. He got 48% of the vote in a D+10 area, change it by 6, did the mail-in ballots, did a lot of things. But I'll tell you this. They tell me that Nick Profit is likely the winner. Nice enough young fellow, 30 years old, never had a job, never ran a business, never really raised any money, never really did anything. Nice young fella. If he was my son, I'd be very proud of him. But
he did a good job
to be the
yesterday.
Chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia, it's not a serious party. They're just not serious. And so I lose interest. Let's get to Saxman here.
What?
Go.
Did you watch yesterday, Chris?
All right.
No.
Okay. Did you see any of the clips?
No. Did I look for him? No. Actually, I was on the John Fredericks app, and I got a little bit of the pregame warm up, if you will, for the debate. But I have absolutely no interest in who the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia is.
Because it doesn't matter, you think? Or?
Well, so you're chairman of a mail permit, and four meetings a year when people show up and bitch about the Republican Party not being conservative enough. I mean, really, it's been 30 years of the same crap, and I don't understand who the Republican Party is right now, what they believe, what they're fighting for, what they're going to do if they ever get back in power. You've had a pretty successful governor in Virginia, but again, I don't know what the message is, I don't know what the brand is, and it's like, I don't think.
Well, I'd argue that's why this could be really important. Instead
I still
of
don't
just
think it's
continuing.
important. I just don't think it's no. It's just not. It's just they just don't understand what it is.
Guys, you're skirting the issue. Here's the problem from somebody from the outside looking in.
Okay.
And actually, John, I was in the studio yesterday on the outside looking in. So here's the problem. You. Thank you. Here's the problem.
With his beard.
With my beard. You need a chairman of the Republican Party who can not simply be a figurehead and the speaker for the current governor. That's the problem last time. And John, you saw it firsthand. I love Mark Peake. I served with him in the state Senate. He's a classy guy. And he did what he could, John, to help you, John Reed.
He did. I thought he was really fair.
Yeah. However, let's be clear, the 2025 races were controlled by one person, and that person is Governor Glenn Youngkin. So unless and until you have a chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia that has some autonomy, some independence, I think you will see similar shortfalls. That's just me on the outside looking in.
Not with
Yeah,
Saxman. What did you say that they got a mail permit and 4 meetings a year and they bitch that they're not conservative? See, that's why I'm taking Saxman to Iowa. That's the exact reason.
That's why you're taking
Look,
Saxman to what?
That's why I'm taking him to Iowa, because he's like me. He's a straight shooter. There is no party. It's a mail permit. They have 4 meetings a year, and all they do is bitch.
Like
I mean,
when the
it's a
fundraising rules were changed in this country, the parties became very weak. There's 3 elements to any campaign, and 2 of which the state party can control to a degree: candidate quality, and, to John's point, raising money. The national environment is what supersedes all elections these days. But the Republican Party needs to get back to blocking and tackling and figuring out what product they're going to bring to the electorate every year, and who they are and what they really believe. And it's a shadow of its previous self, largely because they're not in control of the fundraising. So people who show up at the state central, they're good people by and large, but they have ineffectual debates. They don't do anything. They're not out recruiting. They're not knocking on doors and building relationships in the business communities to raise the money that's necessary to have a decent functioning party. And it's just Virginia becomes, because we have an election every year of consequence, we become very candidate driven. And it's just like we're waiting for the next candidate. We're waiting for the next chairman to solve it and save everything.
Because they don't build anything. That's the whole problem.
I think we're all agreeing on what the problem is. It's just how to solve it. And I think a strong leader who's not beholden to everybody else who's already in the establishment, who can make some changes. And yeah, you got to take direction from the board of directors, the state central committee, but somebody who comes in and can mobilize the fundraising and give confidence that there's a new way forward.
John, that sounds excellent, but they're about to elect a 30-year-old, nice young fellow with no business experience, no job, never done anything. He was chairman of Chesapeake, worked for me, no track record. I mean, so they can have their little fiefdoms. It's not even worth my time.
Sounds like the former Democratic mayor of the city.
Exactly.
Hey, can we switch gears?
Yes, I want to get to Virginia Lottery Casino's internet gaming. Let's start there. Okay, everybody knows I'm in favor of gambling, and then I'll get to Joe's topic, right? I'm in favor of casinos. I'm in favor of internet athletics gambling. I've been in favor of that in Virginia. I'm in favor of that. I'm in favor of that in Georgia. But they got this bill, chap. Come on, man. They got a bill going up to allow internet gambling on your phone, not athletics, not like who's going to win the Hurricane Indiana game or the basketball game. This is casino gambling on your phone, not regulated, nothing. You put money in, you play blackjack on it as you're sitting in your parking lot, losing money, preying on the most vulnerable in society. I just can't believe Virginia, and they're introducing this bill. Mamie Locke is a sponsor. This thing is probably going to pass if we don't stop it. I like, my head is exploding. Who would be in favor of this, chap, ever?
I first of all, I have no idea what this bill is. I'm still trying to figure out how to access my bank records on my phone. So I don't know who would do gambling. I don't know. How do you regulate it? How does the state tax it? I mean, how do you keep track of it? Is it sponsored by the casinos? I mean, is this like a virtual casino?
No, this is another company that wants a casino gambling on your phone in Virginia. I think there's a $500,000 buy-in or something, or they're trying to raise $2 million, but it's not regular. Look, I'm opposed to the skill games as you are in these in the Exxon stations, but this is even worse than that. I mean, this is even worse than the Stanley bill with the skill games. This is basically, you go on your phone, you put $10 in, it's gone. This is insane beyond belief that we would even consider this as being backed by Mamie Locke.
I'm very disappointed in this bill, John. I first heard about it when you voiced your reticence to it. And what we have done, and I like the analogy of somebody sitting in the parking lot of Wawa, drinking their Coke or coffee and gambling. You're going to have a proliferation of folk gambling who can't afford it, who get hurt, and I think it's very, very bad. I have no idea why Mamie Locke would introduce such a a horrible bill. It's bad for Virginia. Let's go back, folks. We started out when Chap and I were in the state Senate with a bill to create 5 casinos in the Commonwealth of Virginia. That one was good. Okay? 5 casinos, that's it. Not 6, not 7, 5.
5.
And now we keep adding to that Christmas tree another decoration. There is talk about putting a casino in Northern Virginia right now, a 6th one. And the point is 75% of Northern Virginians don't want it,
Right.
but they're going to do it. That's horrible. This bill, I think, is even worse, John, because every Tom, Dick, and Harry that has a free moment gets on there and gambles and probably can't afford to. I am in full agreement of having, self-choice, but that we've gone way too far. It's not the Virginia way. I don't see it getting defeated because the Democrats are controlling all 3 branches. The House, the Senate, the governor's mansion. And in a moment,
Can I
wanna
ask a question? And I don't know the answer, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but as a reporter, I immediately think, does somebody in the legislature have an investment incentive to push this?
That's a great
Personal.
question, John. And
Personal.
I don't know. I know this. I sat in the. I'm going to break some news. I sat in the Senate when the senator that sits next to Lucas was voting about marijuana. Okay, marijuana shops. She had a marijuana shop down in her district. She had an interest.
She owned it.
In one.
I'd always
She
heard that. Is that true?
had an interest in it. And I wrote a letter to the ethics committee. I'm breaking this now. I said, wait a second. Is this okay for Louise Lucas to be voting on this legislation when she is tied to the marijuana industry? Is that right? Had it been me,
Yeah.
skip the trial, go directly to federal prison.
Right.
Okay? But it's Lucas who just...
So what'd they say when they got the letter? They ignored
has
it? Or
to
did they
use her
respond,
own
or-
has to use her own judgment. Which
I love it.
is warm beer, kissing your sister. Didn't give me an answer. But it was wrong. And John Reed, I suspect if you dig deep, you're going to find either some interest, some campaign contributions, or whatnot.
Campaign contributions are interesting and suspect, and I think everybody should pay attention to that. Personal or family connections where you're going to benefit from the bill you're voting on, that should send up red flags and fireworks everywhere. And again, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but they should check that stuff.
You and Chap, Joe, passed the casino bill, 5 casinos. It was controlled. It was certain areas. People had to bid on them. When you passed the Rosie's thing, that was controlled. That was the first. That got pari-mutuel gambling back in the state. We got the track back, created jobs. Then you passed the internet gambling for FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, etc. Like, I went on DraftKings this morning on the break, and I bet the Tampa Lightning plus 136 over Carolina. Got to have money in the count. You got to be legal here because there's a wall around it, and you got to wait for the game to get played, which is like tonight at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to find out when I get up whether or not I won my bet. That's different than you put $20 on your credit card on your phone and you lose it in 16 seconds. This is insane beyond belief. I just can't believe we're doing it.